Yes guys, welcome back. Today we're talking about Leclerc and his big win, how he's broke the curse, and just generally the current state of F1. But before we get into that, just remember, if you haven't seen a previous video, link is in the bio for the new Discord. We're going to build a community that you guys and me, we can run together, we can do videos, we can do all sorts. I'm going to start streaming during races and at other times as well. Let's do something together. Throw your ideas in there, what you'd like to do. I'll get you all involved. Let's get on to the video. Now, first place to start and the only place to start. Martin Brundle, pre-race, needs a shout out. This guy, when it comes to his grid walk, it is the most uncomfortable, anxious feeling thing, but I can't not look. I can't not watch. The way he humbles these celebrities, and he doesn't care if they say no. As shown in Monaco, Mbappe, he is walking along with his security comes over, and he was like, no, I'm in charge around here.
It's all right, mate. I'm in charge around here. Kylian Martin Brundle.
Yes, you are, Martin. And with these celebrities who do get free tickets, they do get to have the whole glamour and get themselves on TV and whatever. Just, you got to embrace that moment. You see your Van Dijks, Dallos, there's other ones as well, other celebrities that just have the conversation with him. He even went up to one of the Jonas brothers and was like, I don't even know which one this is. Right in front of him. He doesn't care. This is his world. You're in it. You can at least, if you get free tickets, show some respect to an absolute F1 legend. And if you don't get to see Martin Brundle, please go watch some highlights. They're great moments. But anyway, let's get into the race. So the race starts and we have utter chaos lap 1. I did take notes during the race, so don't worry, I try not to miss anything. But first things first, we have Magnussen and obviously Perez's big clash. At first I was screaming at Magnussen, he was in the wrong, he's going to get his race banned because he's on 10 penalty points and everything. But the more I've kind of watched it, I think Perez could potentially give him more room. Perez sees him, he closes the door. I don't think Perez quite expects him to be so aggressive on a track like Monaco, but when you get no overtakes and you get no moments, you kind of take whatever chance you can. Realistically, if K-Mag gets in front of him, that's all he can do, really. He's kind of going to manage it out until kind of pit stops and hope to stay ahead. Like, I think it's worth the shot, but at the same time, 120 to 150 miles per hour going up that hill, tight corner, the way you got to swerve in and out. He has to take certain angles. The racing line's there. I think K-Mag should have backed out. And as Hulkenberg even said, that was a bit unnecessary. So for me, I think it's a racing incident. A moment of stupidity from both could have given more room. Perez kind of has the right a little bit, but yeah, not too sure. I'm not as convinced on that one. But one thing I am convinced on is Ocon and Gasly. I would bet my life that at least one of them will not be in F1 next year. Absolutely not. And I'm going to say Ocon. Because again, Ocon decides to make a weird move just before the tunnel on Gasly. So unnecessary. Like, I don't know why they're also not telling them in their ear and letting them know that actually it's going to be red flagged. And considering the fact that even if he made that move, he would have got told to go back anyway with a red flag. In hindsight, makes it even worse. Obviously, he's made his statement admitting it was his fault. But, Gasly was fuming. He had damage. But the good thing at Monaco is, once you got position, that is it. As long as the damage is enough for you to keep grip, you'll be absolutely fine. Even if you go slow, you're just going to back the pack up. You only really got 2 or 3 corners where you need to hold off for. So in that one, Ocon completely at fault. He took himself out, but he nearly took his teammate out as well. Alpine were pulling their hair out. It was bad. So that one there as well. And obviously the last little one, Sainz and Piastri battling for third. Piastri gets a great start. He is like blitzing ahead a bit as well. He's gone, but Sainz makes a move, but he just really overshot it. He gets some understeer. He can't quite make the corner. He hits Piastri, obviously ends up with a puncture and everything as well. The other thing is with Piastri, there's nothing he could have done. He was basically on the wall. I don't know if he was touching the wall, but he pretty much was there. He had nowhere else to go, no other room to give. So I think Sainz there, he would have been at fault for his own race getting down forward as well. But he was saved by the moment, as you saw. He was saved by that moment where obviously it all got reset with the red flag. He means he gets his position back. He is lucky. His race is saved. But this is the 3rd race in a row they've come together. For me, it's getting a little tense now as well. It all seems to have a love in the room as well. So I don't know if it's like that. But on the track, they definitely just are destined to come together. Something isn't right here. It's like that. You know they're going to meet at some point. It's just when are they going to meet? And there's going to be a big incident. And then all of them are going to come together. And it's going to feel like a big explosion. And I'm here for it. Not going to lie. Here for the drama. That's all I got to say. My next update came at lap 12. Obviously, everything was very boring. very bland. You knew at this point that everyone was just going to see how their tyres were until later on in the race. Obviously, with the restart, we started, I think, at lap 3, whereas after they do the formation lap, they do a standing start. It's at lap 3. And once they're in their positions there, overtaking is a minimal, and we found that out, which I'll talk about in a minute. That was it. Unless for a safety car moment, everything else like that, the tyres that they were on were going to be the tyres that they finish on. Hamilton wasn't happy. He stated before that they should have been on hards at that point. We know now, really wouldn't made much of a difference. It just wouldn't. Obviously, Hamilton, Verstappen and Russell all were on mediums, sat behind there in the 5th, 6th and 7th. They stayed on mediums that way, and that actually caused a bit of confusion for the ones at the front because they didn't know if their tyres were going to fall off so they can all pit. But in Monaco, the weird thing is you can't give up track position, as again, we learned later on down the line. But in this manner, like, they have to kind of go from back to front. Because at the front, you can't do it because you'll lose track position. And if the other guy can actually manage his tyre to the end, you're never getting that ahead again. So it was a weird moment. We hoped for it as well. But as we found out later down the line, probably wasn't the case. Lap 23, again, as I said, was more of the same. People are just settling into a strategy, trying to figure out, okay, how are the tyres falling off? Are they maintaining? It's not heavy on the tyres massively. And I think, to be honest, if they're going to make this race more exciting, they need to change the compounds. They need to make the ultra softs, all that as well. They need to be the highest one as well, so they do like degrade. Oh my god, a lot more. And that way, then we can actually get more racing. Kind of get more little bits of moments. People's tires falling off. They're struggling. They're losing time. Pit stops, undercuts, over to you. All the rest, you know it. That is what we need, please. Now, my next update came at lap 31. That's when tires started to get reported that we're actually struggling a little bit here. You think lap 31. We've got still 47 laps to go. We're going to get some pit stops here. Oh, we didn't. Oh, we really didn't. Oh, it was bad. So obviously then lap 54, we got our first overtake during the actual race, not on the restarts and stuff like that. As an actual race and overtake, we saw Bottas overtake Logan Sargent. Then after that, there's a couple other overtakes in there as well. I think Stroll made a couple nice ones as well, but that was pretty much it. We weren't really getting much of a racing. It was kind of like that. After that, Max and Lewis, around lap 58, I believe, decided to do the first pit stops. And obviously, Lewis went first and 7th, obviously giving Verstappen the room. Lewis was a bit confused at first whether he should be pushing to try and get the undercut as well. But I don't know why he was confused. Of course you have to push. He was kind of maintaining. What are you maintaining your tyres for to the end? That confused me. I'm a Lewis fan, but that confused the life out of me. Verstappen gets out ahead. That is it. Now Verstappen's done it, and now is Russell going to do it? They closed in so much that quickly Russell couldn't, meaning the top 4 was stuck because they couldn't give it because they would give position to Russell. Oh, it caused absolute carnage in people's brains, and they had to stay out on these tyres. But all in all, actually quite boring because Verstappen and Hamilton were flying, especially Verstappen. He was lightning quick, caught up to Russell's absolutely no time, but couldn't get past. Russell managed to save enough on his tyres, and when you're getting a medium from lap 3, technically lap 2, all the way to lap 78, and you're still kind of closing in on the ones ahead, yeah, there's a problem here because you've not had to work them tyres at all. Them tyres have just been able to keep coasting around, taking it easy. There's no real struggle in it. And I think the cars are too big. There's other stuff we'll talk about in just a moment, but that is it. And then when you look here, lap 72, I literally said it was the right idea to keep track position over gripping tyres because as long as you had enough, you'd be absolutely fine. So let's recap. All in all, what has happened? Let's look at some of the negative side. Racing in Monaco isn't enough. It's just flat. There's no real excitement unless you got pit stops and errors and stuff like that. And we still didn't actually have any safety cars. Really, we had the big incident at the start. That was red flagged. And after that, there was no safety car, nothing. So I think all in all, I wouldn't remove Monaco, but I think we need to make some changes. Like I said, the compounds and stuff like that, you need to make them softer so they degrade as well. I am struggling with that word today. And obviously then you get to the point where you lose a lot of grip, you lose a lot of tires, people are losing times, undercuts are try, people are going to gamble on stuff, people are going to make more mistakes. A lot more has to happen for these races to become interesting, and the cars have to be smaller. If you're not going to do that, you have to then make the cars smaller because they're just too big now. It's one down the way, if not anything. You even saw it in practice, people trying to go past each other. It just looks awkward, and for me, some changes need to be made because Monaco is such a historic event. You have to keep it, But people can't keep watching races like this because the people are going to start tuning out, and we're trying to build F1. It is on the rise. It looks all cool and glamorous again. So something needs to happen. Good news. Verstappen didn't win for a lot of people. That sounded so haterish of me, and I do apologise. But I mean for the sake of the championship. Now, Leclerc, after he got his win, his bogeys and all that stuff in Monaco, the voodoo, whatever you want to call it, the curse has been lifted. He has managed to get his win. It's well deserved. It's kind of fallen the same way as Ricciardo, if you've seen a short I did as well. Where Ricciardo in 2016 had his moment. It got taken away from him for a pit error. Same thing that happened to Leclerc in 22. Pit error cost him his race. Threw it away. But 2 years later, both of them return and they get their wins. Well deserved. And he hit a great dive after, by the way. I don't know if I can find the clip of that, but I saw a clip of him diving in. Wow. I don't know why that impressed me. That's quite sad. That's quite sad that was probably the most impressive part of the weekend. But Leclerc deserved his win. Well done to you. Well done to Ferrari. They have closed the gap there. A nice little 1-3. And McLaren 2-4. So we kind of didn't have any Red Bull at the front. One Red Bull out and they finished 6th. Probably one of their worst weekends in a long time. Probably since looking at Singapore last year, where they kind of struggled a bit. And obviously you had Mercedes mixed in the top 7 as well. So I don't know. Could we be in for something? Mercedes still look like the ones that are just going to lack pace. But if this is the case, we have 31 points with Leclerc behind Verstappen. Verstappen has one more kind of race weekend like this. That gap closes a lot. Now we're talking about things can get mixed up. If McLaren, the other Ferrari, they're all mixed in there, Leclerc can make a bit of a push. Obviously, Norris gained some ground as well. I think he's about 40-something points behind now. Maybe just towards low 50s. And again, he can make his push as well. You don't know what can happen in F1. All it takes is 2 kind of random races where he has like this, Verstappen does, and then the gap gets closed. Even if he has any DNFs or anything. Hopefully no serious accidents. I always say that, touch wood. You know me, all that. I don't want anyone to get hurt, of course. But, you know, if a little engine failure, oh, gearbox gone, something, anything, just to create a bit of drama is what we're looking for. F1 needs it. F1's crying out for it. Whenever we do have it, look at Miami, a different winner. It gives a good vibe. And on that note as well, we have had 8 races. Verstappen has won 5. We've had 4 different winners in total. When you've got Norris in Miami, you've got Leclerc obviously in Monaco, and Sainz in Australia. Obviously, the Australia one, Max didn't finish in. He was competing at the front, but it looked like Sainz was going to outpace him anyway. He did go past him already. So, I don't know. This Red Bull looks human. Hopefully someone else picks up. I don't actually care who wins it long run because, as I said, I'm a Hamilton fan and he's not going to win it. Maybe until next year. That'll take me on to my next video. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. Comment all your thoughts down below. As I said, join that Discord. Let's create a community. My next video will be on Hamilton and his change over to Ferrari. Can that save his career? Where we're at. All of that. For you Hamilton fans, look out for it. For you Lulu haters, I'm sorry. It's coming. But I'll do Max ones and others soon. Take care. See you in the next one.